Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Love All. It is the start of March. There is no sign in New Jersey of the spring starting anytime soon, but I am very, very excited, Blair, to speak with our next guest, none other than Martina Hingis. Really, really excited that she decided to say yes and come on the show. So happy, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, so much fun to talk to Martina. I think we established it in the fact that we were supposed to have her for a half an hour. We talked to her for almost an hour. We could have gone for several more hours. We're hoping that maybe there's a part B somewhere down the road. But I loved listening to you guys talk about your head-to-head and how each one of you thinks on the court. I was just sitting there, had to remind myself that I too was on the podcast because I was just sitting there enjoying story time. We had so much fun. And if you can see my background here, if you're watching on YouTube, I am clearly not at home. You can see my lovely kitchenette behind me. I am in Indian Wells. I was in Las Vegas for the MGM Slam. Congrats to 19-year-old Joao Fonseca, who can spend none of his $300,000 winnings in Las Vegas legally on, on gambling or drinking. But we had a great time in Las Vegas. I'm in Indian Wells for a few days for an ATP project. But Kim, I'm excited to get to talk to you bright and early. For me, we're going to do some Henley's headlines. We're going to get some information. And as you mentioned, then we're going to go into our interview with Martina. All right, so let's start with some headlines, and obviously a tough one at first. The U.S. and Israel have attacked Iran, and fighting has spread throughout several Middle Eastern countries and cities, including Dubai, just as that tournament was wrapping up. As we speak right now, we know there are still players and staffers and journalists who are still stuck in that area because the airspace has been closed. And it's just a really difficult scene to watch from afar. There are a lot of questions. There's information that we don't know, a lot of uncertainties, but just a tough scene.
Yeah, very. And I remember as a teenager flying to, at the time when I was dating Leighton, flying to Australia and flying over Kuwait and some Middle Eastern countries where there was a war going on. It's scary thoughts. So it also reminds me of a lot of the players from the Ukraine that are, have been going through this for a couple of years and are playing week in, week out, for their country and with everything that's going on. So it's a tough environment to be in, and to just keep focused on what you're trying to do on court. But yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, and I hope it doesn't have to last too much longer.
Switching gears, Kim, we had heard rumors that Alycia Parks had hit with Serena Williams or was spending time on the court with her. We now have video proof. Serena does not look like a player who hasn't been out on the court practicing since 2023, as she said in one of her social media videos a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was, I think, for the serve, right? Where she mentions her serve,
Yes.
Which it is. I can speak with a little bit of experience there. The serve is the hardest shot, I feel like, when you've been out of the game for a while to get the shoulder kind of loose and get that rhythm back. But really nice to see them both playing together. I mean, whenever I watch Alycia Parks on the tennis court, she just reminds me of Serena. She hits her forehand like Serena. She hits the backhand. She moves. Some of her reactions in between the points, like very, very similar to Serena. So a great experience for her as well to be able on court with Serena and a good kind of test, I think, in a sense, right? For Serena to be able to play against a current player who's playing well and who is out there competing against the best players today. So it's a kind of a nice little measurement for Serena too.
I am obsessed with the slow drip of Serena comeback media information, the misleading, the talk show, the social media videos, the are we joking, are we not? I'm hooked. I'm on the edge of my seat. I have no idea what's going to happen, but all signs point to the fact that we're going to be seeing Serena back on a professional tennis court, probably sooner rather than later. Agree?
Yes, I agree. Yep.
All right. A very important update, Kim, from the grounds of Indian Wells. We're bringing you the hard news here. Aryna Sabalenka has a new puppy, a King Charles Cavalier named Ash, and I am told that it is in honor of Arthur Ashe.
Okay, not Ash Barty.
Not Ash Barty,
okay.
although it's spelled ASH with no E. So who knows? Maybe we can give a nod to Ash Barty as well. But so many dogs here on the grounds at Indian Wells. I mean, Mira Andreeva has a dog, Potapova has a dog, Kalinskaya has a dog here. I mean, there are puppies everywhere. Could you have imagined being on the road? I mean, not that I think Aryna Sabalenka is getting up at 4 a.m. to go walk said puppy, but could you have imagined having a dog on tour with you?
Not full time. I had an English bulldog that traveled with me to a couple of the European tournaments where I was able to, to drive the car with. I can't take my English bulldog in a little carry-on bag, which,
Right.
That was a little harder, but, it's a really nice distraction too, to be able to go home or go walk the dog and or to the hotel room and just have a little bit of a distraction. Maybe the mother instinct or her mother, how do you say that in English? Like maybe she's craving, to take care for
maternal
some
instinct?
Maternal instinct
Yeah.
is starting to kick in a little bit, and that's a good a good first step and for the two of them. And but just really very cute dog. I saw it was very, very cute. So nice. I can't wait to play with the puppies. It's always been, Venus and Serena traveled with their dog. Martina Navratilova traveled with her dog. I mean, there were plenty of dogs around, and it was just a really nice distraction from, day-to-day life on tour.
All right, next up, Coco has weighed in on the ball kids handling the towel debate. I love this topic, Kim, because everyone has an opinion, but this is what Coco had to say on social media. I saw a tournament where they put the towels in baskets and brought the baskets to the players. I feel like that would be a good option, ? But I agree with not wanting ball kids to touch sweaty towels, LOL. I wouldn't want to either. I always felt bad giving them my sweaty towels, LOL. So Coco is not in my camp, or your camp either. I think we both agreed that we were fine with ball kids handling towels. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the ball kids have always been fine with handling sweaty towels. Maybe gloves are a middle, a kind of a solution. But yeah, I have, my son lost my phone last week. And so I was a few days without a phone. I apparently didn't do an iCloud backup for a very long time. And I have not been able to get on my Instagram at all. It's not letting me get a code or whatever it is. So if there's any Instagram people that do like tennis and watch this, please maybe reach out, or can I reach out to you? I don't know how, but I've been without Instagram for a little while, so haven't been. I'm glad you kept me updated with the latest tennis news, and but my house looks cleaner than ever. Let me tell you that.
Is that what happens when you don't have Instagram?
I'm like organizing cabinets. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff. It's like, okay, I have other things to do that are also very important.
Maybe I should try having my child lose my phone and lock me out of Instagram forever. No, but really fun to have Coco weigh in. Chris Eubanks also weighed in, by the way.
Yeah,
and he agreed with both of us that, it wasn't a big deal for ball kids to handle the towels until obviously it was for COVID reasons. And then we all started thinking about it. But for a time, it was just sort of what ball kids did. And as a ball kid who did it, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So anyway, I know, again, like I said, people have strong feelings on that topic. I'm sure we'll revisit at some point. So that brings us, Kim, to my favorite new segment. It's Kimformation, which, just a quick side story.
I'm glad you say it. I don't have to say it.
Yes, I will say it, but also Andy, when he had listened to this segment last week, he texted to say that he has changed Kim's name in his phone to Kimformation. and sent us a screenshot of her contact now in his phone as information.
Listen, I've had nicknames. So one of Leighton's coaches back in the day was Roger Rashid. He used to call me Kimbo. That was like, I guess, an Australian way to go about things. And then I think Brad Gilbert was calling me Kim Kong for a while. So, so information is kind of like, I'm okay with that.
Kim Kong.
Kim Kong.
I cannot. I saw Brad 2 nights ago at this MGM Slam thing. I next time I see him, I am bringing that up. That is hysterical. If I need Andy to change your contact now to Kim Kong. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Sorry,
I want to say, I hope he doesn't hear this, but he's going to hear it.
100%. Okay, moving on to Kim Kong's Kimformation. We're going to talk about the ATX Open, where Peyton Stearns defeated Taylor Townsend 7-6, 7-5, a great final. Taylor playing in her first ever WTA final. Peyton Stearns getting the second title of her career in Austin, where she played college tennis, was an NCAA team and singles champion there. Great storylines in the final. But in terms of the tennis, Kim, what did you see?
It was good tennis. I think this matchup was, it was a big moment for both players, right? It was, for Taylor, an important kind of first step. I don't think she'd ever made the final of a WTA event in singles. She's very successful in doubles, so for her to get there in singles was really exciting. And I think with Peyton Stearns, to me, she added a little bit of extra pressure to herself by saying that it was about time that one of the Texas Longhorns was going to win the tournament. So, but yeah, really exciting to see her win a title. I feel like with Peyton Stearns, there is, she can show some incredible great things. And then there's times where, she can, really miss some easy mistakes. And we saw that especially in the first set, where she went up a break, and it was just, the level was going both ways. There was some really good things and then some unforced errors, I think on missing like an easier overhead, a drop volley that she missed as well, like on set points and on match points. And it was, you could feel that there was nerves. And when you haven't been in that position for many times or ever, it's, you don't know a lot of times, how does my mind react to that added pressure? How does my body react when my mind is not, not just focused on hitting the tennis ball, and there's other things that you're worried about. So, but I like her game. I like, she's a very fit player. She can run a lot of balls down. But yeah, just, also likes to stay, close to the baseline, play aggressive. But I think at times, I still think that there's a lot of room for growth. And I think the consistency, especially from Peyton Stearns, is something that can still improve. But that's, winning events like this will definitely help with her confidence and will point out those kind of the strengths and the weaknesses. And it's really great to take that with you and move forward with it.
Yeah, I talked to Jimmy Arias about Peyton maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and I know he spent some time working with her, and he said he told her, this is when she was maybe ranked 60, 70, something like that, and he said, you should be so encouraged by the fact that you are already at this ranking and you don't know what you're doing out on the court. So essentially the same thing. Like there's so much room to grow because she has that raw talent and raw power. The live arm factor with Peyton Stearns when you watch her is really evident. So
yeah, and then there's mistakes where you're like, wait, what was that? Like so like out of nowhere sometimes, and very opposite of the player that we talked to later in the episode with Martina Hingis, who is very, who has a solution for every ball that comes at her. And so, yeah, but a great win for Peyton. Nice to be able to do it in Austin.
Yep. All right. And one more match that we want to talk about / player in Merida. Christina Bucsa defeated Magdalena Freck 6-1, 4-6, 6-4. She also won the doubles title, and she has a really fascinating story. She's coached by her father, who is not a tennis player. He was a former Moldovan Olympic biathlete. And biathlon, I mean, gosh, I don't know that you can think of a sport that is more specific to what you're doing. I mean,
yeah.
Complex and not a lot of transferable skill, I wouldn't think, from biathlon to tennis, but they've made it work. It's a really neat story.
Right. And it's a lot of times it's the mental side of it, right? That is what he's been able to transfer over. And I think that's something that my dad was not a tennis coach at all. Like, he never interfered with what I did on court with my technique or my tactics, but it was the mental side that he tried to focus on and help out with and share his experience. And Bukova's her father's name is Ion. Moldova is a very, very small country. It's between, I think, Romania and the Ukraine, if I remember correctly. If my
that's pretty impressive, Kim.
My European map skills. That was drilled in us when going to school in Belgium. Like, we had to know all the countries, and so I've gotten to know them a little bit a few years ago. Like, the dad would see me and we would talk a little bit. His English wasn't great, but he would, we had a really nice connection. And I would go watch some of her matches a little bit. And she was always a player that, was mentally very much always there. She hardly ever gets distracted, hardly plays bad matches. Like, it's not like her tennis stood out in the beginning when I saw her on tour, but it was consistent, and she worked her way, and there's not a lot of attention on her. She doesn't stand out as a personality a lot, but she's very committed, works very hard, and it's her and her dad and that travel the world and go through it all. And she's been, when you don't play your best tennis, she beat Paulini, right? And I think it was a semifinal. And when you don't play your best tennis, she's a very tough player to beat. And because she can make you doubt yourself, because she doesn't give you a lot of mistakes. She doesn't give you kind of momentum to work your way into a match. And she did that really well. She won her first WTA title on her dad's birthday, which was very special. And but she's a good player. She's has good results in doubles and is starting to feel more and more comfortable, like more and more like she belongs on tour. And I feel like in the beginning there was like the overwhelming factor. She was a lot of times a little bit overwhelmed by the circus of traveling on tour and the craziness of it all. And but I think winning matches like this, and over time, like, she's you've seen her grow into a more confident player, and just getting better and also fit, strong, very strong mentally is, I think, what to me stands out the most is her mental mindset.
All right. Well, after the break, we are going to have our interview with Martina Hingis. I cannot wait. You guys will love it. So stick around. Welcome back to Love All, where we have a very special guest with us. She's a Hall of Famer who's captured 43 singles titles, including 5 Grand Slams. She also dominated on the doubles court, collecting 64 titles, including 13 doubles majors and an additional 7 in mixed. She's been #1 in both singles and doubles. We're so excited to have her. It is Martina Hingis.
Incredible. Welcome, Martina.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, very excited to get you on our Love All podcast today.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been watching you.
Hey, I've been watching you on the court. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm right now actually doing a gig in Athens. So I'm staying at a hotel and a little bit kind of on a vacation trip, playing as well. So looking forward to having a little bit of sunshine coming from cold Switzerland, a few days off.
I'm very jealous. Blair and I, we've been, over the last couple of months, we've been stuck in snowstorms and cold weather. And so, yeah, seeing the tennis tour in Australia and now going to Indian Wells and Miami is very nice.
Yeah, I feel the same. So now a little bit at the beach. So it's a bit chilly in the evenings. But at least the sun's out and no clouds and no rain, no fog. Like, yeah, the same thing at home. It was really cold. And although I love skiing, so we went skiing quite a bit with my daughter, and that was a perfect time. Like every Swiss person almost has to. It's like a must, and I enjoyed that a lot. And yeah, the weather up in the mountains actually was quite mild, and really nice to do that too. So I don't complain. Switzerland's good.
When I stopped playing in 2012, and once I think after Jada was, or no, just before she was born, we went to Switzerland a few times to ski, and we went to Lenzerheide one time. We went, a couple of different places.
Perfect. Like Lenzerheide, I know actually, frankly, quite well because that's where I grew up skiing.
Oh, really?
It's only half hour away from the place I grew up until I was
nice.
18. And that's actually the place that I used to go all the time, so.
Yeah, I think I love a little bit more just, the spa and the...
These days,
I didn't grow up skiing. And so I don't know. I just, don't have the freedom. I don't feel the freedom, or I'm a little bit like fear. I have some fear on the skis, so maybe I just need to practice more. That's might help. Or I'll go out with you.
No, but I skied since I was 3, so that was always part of my, in a way, training as well, which I did off court, because it was great for later on. We realized how great for the legs, and plus the altitude, and it felt like it wasn't as painful as being in the gym and lifting weights. So
true. No, so I guess in your contracts it didn't say no skiing.
No, my mom put it out of there.
Good.
She was smart on that way.
Blair, that might be a fun. We do a love all episode on the slopes in Switzerland or something.
Yes, please. Ski camp with Martina. I would be in. Sign me up. But Martina, you also mentioned your daughter, Leah, who I think is 7 years old. I know she does some of the cold weather sports as well. What is she like? Do you see yourself in her? What has it been like being a mom?
No, definitely. I mean, I tried to bring some of the things that I was taught as a young girl from my mom. And I think it just gives you a lot of variety, especially being in Switzerland. Everything is very close by. So the only thing that I didn't do when I was a girl was climbing. So here in Switzerland, there are a lot of indoor places as well, which is only like 10-15 minutes away. And they have this amazing indoor facilities that you can do climbing. Except that everything I did, like trying to teach her like mountain bike, like riding a bike. I mean, now it's not mountain bike yet, but
in Switzerland, it's probably a little more mountain biking than here in New Jersey or anywhere.
Yeah, not flat one, especially where I live. It's only down or uphill. So but now with the e-bikes, it works too. So you can do everything.
Does she do any horseback riding already, or?
Yes, of course. Since in a way, since she was born in my belly, she had to be part of that. No, I mean, as soon as she could sit on the horse, I put her up in front of me, and we go like once a week, sometimes twice with my horse, and found a pony that we can take out and ride it. And after 3 years, finally, it's like trot and canter, and it's great fitness for me, like I have to run along next to her.
Yeah, for sure. I remember a few years ago, Blair, I was in Belgium and I get a message from Martina. Like, I forget even around, it was like 2013, 12, 13, 14 maybe. I'm like, and my aunt used to have a sports store, and her name she was my dad's sister, Clijsters, and it said Clijsters Sports. So I get a message from Martina. They're like, hey, is this your sports store? And I'm like, wait, are you in like my town? Like close to it? It was like 5 minutes from my home. She's like, yeah, I'm over here buying a horse. And so you were coming to check out a horse, and very random because I live in a very small, very cute area, but we are very known for horse breeding and horse osteopaths, chiropractors, and things like that. So it was a very, a nice surprise to get a message on a random day from Martina that she was in my neck of the woods.
Yeah. No, they had this world champion there. I believe it was, Jos Lansing, right? And he had this beautiful white horse and Kumano, and it was just a dream. And I think I did some riding in that area, like competitively, and I was like, okay, you weren't far away, like close by Antwerp, right? And I was like, okay, I might try Kim, and yeah, probably, I don't even know. I don't remember what I was buying in that sports store, but I tried.
I don't think you were in
hey,
the store.
Kim.
I think you drove by the sign and you
Yeah.
didn't go in the store, but it was, I know you were there for horses and it was just random. But it just shows your love for, the sport, and nice to see that your daughter's doing that now
Nice
too.
that we can connect. Like there's always somewhere,
Right.
somebody, and it's
in
like,
any part of the world.
Right. If you have the phone number, we can connect. Yeah.
Well, Martina, I feel like we can talk about so many things that have nothing to do with tennis as well. But we did want to talk to you about, a big part of our season that's coming up is the Sunshine Double and Indian Wells, Miami, and just kind of wanted to pick your brain because I've always been fascinated with your brain because of how you play as a tennis player, how you approach, even when we get to play the Legends doubles together, like just how you approach the matches and when I get to play from the baseline and just see you, do your thing at the net and really take over a point is very always been very inspiring, and still to this day, like when I get to play with you at Wimbledon, like I feel very honored to be able to be on your side. And that's
why I was saying we should have played a few more together. I'm sure we would have been good.
I think Wimbledon got some complaints from some other players that we may have been too strong together. But she ended up playing with Cara Black this in 2025 and winning the title. So I texted her. I was like, listen, it's clear who is the weakest link. And
that's not right. Yeah, you held your own. Otherwise, we wouldn't have won the other three before. So, no, but I would love about you also like the competitive spirit. I think you can tell sometimes like the real difference when it's the momentum and you just click on and So that was really cool. I mean, I admire like your power. That was also something that I had some, but I used it more from the power players. Like I couldn't generate it on my own, and like you were forehand cross court sometimes, like when you guys played with Sonia, I was like, hey, you gotta slow down, come on. I can't do anything about that. I can't help you.
Well, that's an interesting kind of thing that you mentioned there, because one of the things that I had written down and that Blair and I talked about was, how do you, like when you look at the game now, like how do you feel like somebody with your type of tennis, right, who was so smart on the court, feel like was almost 2-3 steps ahead of their opponents, like how would you approach playing players today like a Sabalenka, Rybakina? Like what kind of mindset would you go into when you would play a player like that? I think, in our time we had, Venus and Serena, Lindsay Davenport. So I'm just curious about like how that approach was for you.
Well, exactly. I mean, this when people ask me about the power and the difference today, I say, hey, we've had all these players you just mentioned, the Williams sisters, the Davenport, the Sellers, the Capriati, the Davenport. So it was already like the power game on at that time. What changed, I think, is the material, the strings. On the other hand, they make the court slower and the balls slower, but the power was already there, and the athleticism between us, and also you when you came. I mean, you were very athletic. I mean, come on, you made the splits on the court and you were like running from corner to corner. So it was already out there. I think it's just now there's more players who can kind of be like in danger, to put you into dangers. Where maybe back then it was like the top 10 was a difference than the top 20 to 30 players. And on the other hand, it was the rest. But and now I think anyone on a given day can kind of bite you, come and beat you in the first, second round. I think I wish I had a chance. Honestly, if I would want to play as Sabalenka, I would try to get into her head. I think that's my thing.
Wait, Martina, how would you have done that?
I don't know, really, like get as many balls back as possible. We've seen that in the past, like Ons Jabeur was able to do that in Wimbledon, right? And some other players who were able to turn around matches. Mukova at the French Open in the semifinals. So I think you shouldn't give up until the last point is played, definitely against a player like that. And, try to take that momentum and really like every ball. I mean, that was the same kind of thing when I had to play Venus or Serena. Every ball on the other side was a good ball. And no matter how you played it, like with a slice or a spin or fast and slow ball, using the angles and all of that. So just try to make her really like, give her a different ball every single shot and try to make it. I mean, of course, her serve is big, her bombs of the returns, but anything to just try to make her move and let her see a different ball every time.
And that's the thing, like seeing a different ball every time, like that's so much easier said than done, because there's not many
Exactly.
players who could do that, especially I feel like right now. But you were, definitely, I think, one of the front runners, or it stood out that was a type of tennis that could make them mentally break down, right? Like that's how you can, it's retrieving a lot of balls, but then at the same time doing something with it that is so unexpected. And, you could do that. You could hit the slides, you could change the patterns when you don't expect it and kind of throw them off their rhythm a little bit. And that was so fun. I mean, yeah, for years, I remember, being younger and just, seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was, it's true. Like it's, you inspired a lot of people to play like that. Like I think in our generation, when we were younger, we were taught to construct the points really well, right? Make the right decisions, use the angles of the court, and then over time, like the power game kind of took over. And but I still at times miss seeing that type of tennis, like you, Justine Henin, like Ash Barty, Ons Jabeur, Mauresmo, and like it was so fun to see those contrasts. So interesting.
Yeah, but even you had defense, like something like you don't become a number one without knowing like how to defend yourself. So you had the power to learn, right? Of the first ball. But I think in the beginning stages, everybody like teaches you, okay, you have to hit the ball fast and into the corners. But on the other hand, you have to learn how to defend yourself. And I think that's a little bit missing in today's game, that, they have a plan A, but no B or C. So when the plan A doesn't work out, they don't have something to back up.
That's when the unforced errors start to build up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So something like that, playing maybe Rybakina or Sabalenka, it's already more difficult with a player like Swiatek. I mean, if she's on, then just to break her rhythm, it's definitely more difficult. But I think from there is most of the players, they have somewhere a weaker spot, like we all did. But at the end of the day, you have to try to get into their head and like make them make those errors, make those extra balls and to make it work and try to implement your game into their onto the other side. Yes, but like I said, it's definitely difficult if someone is hitting like like Sabalenka or Anisimova, those flat straight backhands down the line, cross court, and 140 kilometers an hour that you try to redirect. But like I said, with today's material, I think with the serve and return, if you choose the right things and try to analyze where they're better serve and returns and how to play that, there is a hope for little players and smart players. I think it's more of the coaches, they don't teach that, and I think that's the biggest mistake in general in tennis, that they don't teach you, or like they don't take extra time like my mom did, or maybe with your coaches, that you have to play our court game. Already with my daughter, I'm trying to she knows how to volley, she knows how to have a good overhead, like off the ground, from the ground, like topspin volleys. If she puts it in, that's another story, don't but
they'll fall in one day.
knowing like to play all court game. I think, like hitting a couple ground strokes, making a step forward, hitting a topspin volley, hitting an overhead off the ground, coming in. I think this is like everything that it takes time and is not very efficient at times because they're hitting it all over the place, but eventually they at least know and they learn how to play those balls.
And especially for kids, I feel like it's they have to be able to stay focused to do it long enough, right? Because there's a lot of failure in the beginning. But yeah, I think we were all brought up in a system where the overall becoming an overall tennis player, right, was very important for my coaches growing up and with your mom as well. So it was always, a lot of fun to see.
I think it was definitely like my mom always had this vision that you were able to react to every ball. Like if you could and be able to play every ball, but also like, for example, with me, I mean, I used to prefer hitting overheads because I was a smaller player and I had a pretty decent overhead.
Well, instead of the drive volley or what?
Yes, exactly. Instead of the drive volley, where Belinda Bencic, like she had this 12-year kind of same education or similar, or even more like the knowledge that my mom had over the years where she learned. She used to prefer the drive volley, the topspin, because she was 10 centimeters taller and had more power behind it. So, yeah, I mean, every player chooses at the end of the day what they prefer, what shot they think they have a better percentage to make a point or a good preparation. Yeah.
One thing, Martina, that Kim and I had talked about is your anticipation. So in addition to all these other tools, you seem to almost sense what was happening next. And I'm wondering, is that something that you can learn, or do you think that you were born with that?
Well, I like to say that in a way I was born with it, to be smart on the court and like seeing it faster. But on the other hand, I played so many matches and points when I was a kid and played with older girls or even amateurs that my mom always prepared me for the match, and I had a strategy and a plan. And I think when you learn that as a kid, to see where the ball is coming, where the other opponent, when it's slower, where they're standing, what the basics are, it's much easier later to know what to do in the full court. So we played a lot of matches on a half court size. So you should not, make mistakes. That was like a no-go. If you get to the ball, you don't miss the ball because once you get there, there is no reason to miss it. And I think today, like when you play a lot of like private lessons and you have a full court, then you don't get that chance to put everything back all the time. And I think this is like something that teaches you to not panic when the ball comes back, like over to 20, 30 to 50 times. Where you see sometimes in men's game that the rallies get really long and mentally that you're prepared. Okay, the ball keeps coming back and you have to hit an extra ball to win the point.
I want to talk to you like for like 2 days. My brain, I have like so many questions going through my head.
My point, kind of didn't answer to that question. So if you learn how to win a point on a half court size, so you play a full court size, so there is much more space. So you have to be smart about like hitting a shorter ball, like kind of drop shot lob, right?
You have to play with the size that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you play a lot of 2 against 1s when you were playing on the full court? Did you do a lot?
Also, yes, a lot 2-on-1. So when I played some girls who are 4 or 5 years older, actually they had to play my half size, and I had the singles court, and they had half court with the doubles court.
And you started dictate,
Yeah, I had to kind of not and dictate and make the point. Where later it changed, where I had to play full court, like half a court, and they had full court and things like that, that you learn where to position yourself on the court. And I think that's really important.
And was this your mom who came up with these exercises, or was who did she listen or follow? Like, how was she inspired by knowing what to do? Because I feel like that was a very similar kind of, those are similar patterns that I learned growing up is, we would put like a long strip, and this was the court, 3/4 of the court that I was able to use to try and win a tiebreak, or, Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's why we are really strong with tiebreakers, because we play so many, and it's not like
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, we're not scared to play a tiebreaker because every point counts.
No,
No,
it's
I
like time
think,
to step up.
exactly. I think it was mainly because we were also like 40 kids on 5 tennis courts, so you have to make up some of the exercises because there is no space. I mean, 40 you don't have what normally 5 courts, 10 people. No, you had 40 people on 5 courts, so you have to really be smart about like how to use the space, or like 3-on-2 or 3-against-3, and all these different kind of things. And we end up playing lots of doubles as well, and all these different things.
You're saying that it's really not that important for kids to just do one-on-one tennis sessions. That's all the questions I got from the parents, like in the academy, was like, they need private lessons every day. I'm like, no, like I had maybe 2 private lessons, like, and then everything else was in a group. And like you said, like you would play against guys that were better than you, but I was playing girls that I was supposed to beat. And it's that mental side. But now I feel like a lot of girls, they get so protected from losing to a worse player in practice and not wanting to practice with, player that they're supposed to beat or be better than. And with us, it was just, we had to figure it out, right? Like whoever we played, like if we played guys that had a good serve, we had to figure it out. And there was no adjustments, which I think is what made us tough.
No, I mean, you had to welcome the challenge, and we were always challenged every day. You go on court, and I had a friend who was 5 years older than me, and I really wanted to always play with her against the boys or the other girls who were older. And if I had kind of made mistakes, I would never be allowed to play with her. She would just send me to, okay, little one, go to the next court.
Now, were there consequences if you made mistakes? Like if you were drilling to not, like, was there like push-ups or what did you have to do? Like,
no, I would not be able to play on that court anymore, but I wanted to. And that was my kind of pride. And, like court 5 was the worst court, the beginners or the youngest ones. And you wanted to work yourself up to the second or first court. And that was the only opportunity when somebody was missing. So I was always there. My mom, she was teaching like the third group, and then to be able to play with the first group kids who were like I said, older, that was a privilege. And I was like really happy and lucky to be able to be part of that, So now I think we were just kind of educating ourselves.
We had to figure
and it was
out.
normal. We had our pride and image, and we wanted to be just good and play well, and not like this protection, like you said earlier. I think it's just like avoiding the big stadiums. At the end of the day, it's harming the kids, in my opinion. That it's preparing you already on little stage where nobody's watching yet, instead of playing like 5,000, 10,000. At the end, the US Open, there's 20,000 people watching you. And if you already break down on a small court like this with no pressure, literally, how do you want to become a US Open champion,
Martina, you have seemingly had such a great relationship with your mom. We've certainly seen many parent-child coaches, though, over the years that have been tough, because it's tough to be a coach and a parent. So what worked well for you and your mom?
I think, like I said, this was like being disciplined. That was definitely something like she really was very kind of tough on, and the right technique. She was really about like precision and playing well and playing smart. And I had matches where I kind of won in 3 sets, didn't play my greatest, and I end up winning. And she's like, well, let's go hit some balls because you didn't do this and this and this. And on the other hand, I could have lost 1-1 and played my best tennis, and I just was physically not up to date with the bigger players. And she said, hey, you did everything you could, and you played the best, and that in this given moment, you'll learn when you're physically stronger, and when you will get your chance when you're older. So she was very fair, I have to say. And we trained together, and we did most of the things together. on and off the court. So I could never complain, hey, like maybe some of the girls sometimes feel like, okay, I'm working my butt
You
off.
can say it. It's okay.
And you're just kind of dictating what I'm supposed to do, run this, do that, but she was always there. And on the other hand, I also felt very protected by her.
The amount of times that I've been able to just kind of interact with her, I love the part that she's so straightforward. Like she makes it simple. Like when it's, whether it's about a tennis match or, whatever we're playing, like even, or in practice, like when she's there, it's just like, there's no BS. Like she just says it and it's like, all right, we'll do that. Like, yeah, understood, right? Like it's such a straightforward way of communicating. And I told Blair yesterday, I said that was a really funny moment. And I think it was in 2024 after, I think we maybe just won our semifinals or something. And we were waiting at transportation and there was a double rainbow. Do you remember that moment that we were outside and we were taking pictures and we were like looking at the double rainbow, and it was such a pretty kind of view over the Wimbledon courts, and your mom, and I couldn't understand it at the time what she was saying, but it sounded like, let's go, like stop this crap. And I was like, what did she just say to you? And she's like, Martina, have you never seen a fucking rainbow before? Get in the car. So I was like, that's Melanie, like it's just so like, it's a rainbow. Let's go. Like, we got to go home. I've been at these courts all day. I need to get to the house.
Oh, exactly. No, that's true. It's about routine, right? It's like, you get your, get to bed on time. And but if there was something, we never had issues about tennis. If it was something that was like sleeping times or phone times or anything else, we never had disagreements about the professionalism
stuff,
on the court.
Martina, the piece that you said about feeling protected, I think is so important, given that you won your 5 singles slams before you turned 19. You were growing up in front of the world on these massive stages. I can't imagine it having my life written about in those formative years. How tough was that for you? Do you look back fondly on those years? Was it difficult?
No, I mean, I think it was the best time that I had, actually, especially when you're young and you have nothing to lose. I didn't feel the pressure at that time because every time I stepped on court, I felt like, hey, if I don't win today, I have 10 years to go, which it wasn't like that anymore. But at that time, this is definitely what I felt like as a 14, 15-year-old going on tour and playing those tournaments, playing those matches against mostly, the top 10 players who were older than me. And I really felt like I have nothing to lose. Later, maybe at 16, when I, in 97, 98, then I felt like a little bit more. I have to prove myself. I have to back up those tournaments that I've won. You have to defend those titles, and everybody's expecting you to win week after week after week. And every time you lose as a number one, it's like a loss. But before that, there was no fear. And I love traveling. I love playing. I enjoyed much more playing those tournaments and having been at home and practicing, to be honest. That was the tougher part. But that was also part of my mom's vision, that she always wanted the practice to be kind of tougher than what you expect on the court later on. Was it with you as well? Like when you trained, was the practice harder?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to go to tournaments. Like I was so hungry to like compete. Like I enjoyed practicing, but not too long of moments. Like if I was home for 2-3 weeks, like I was like, all right, I need to play my matches, and I want to, see if it's working out on the match court, what we're working on. But it's true what you say. It's like when you're so young, and you were a few years younger than I was when I came on tour, but people ask me now, like, don't you feel like you missed out on your childhood and like you wanted to just be a normal teenager? I'm like, no, like I feel so privileged, right? That I've been able to do what I've wanted to do, and I wanted to play tennis, and I wanted to travel the world, and so yeah, I think it's maybe just to the outside world, it at times looks like it's, it is demanding and it is intense, but it's also what we love to do and what we dreamed of doing. And So it's fun. I don't know at this, at this time now with social media and with all that stuff, if that would have changed maybe our mindset a little bit. I don't know. I think we've all had, pretty good people around us who will protect you from even that kind of, those kind of things. So, I definitely didn't feel like I missed out on childhood things, or I still had time to go if I wanted to go to a party, did that if I felt like it, or had a boyfriend or whatever. Like it's not like you're in this complete bubble.
So did your mom have any issues with that, Martina? If you had, so say you wanted to go out, or they're boys or whatever, did she stay away from that, or did she have input on that as well?
If I was back on time. Yeah, that was
or
definitely.
If she doesn't know.
I mean, well, we mostly had connecting rooms, so it was hard to kind of sneak in, sneak out. But no, I mean, yes, of course. We had our issues, but on the other hand, I wasn't later looking back at it, I wasn't able to bring those results if I came back at 3 a.m. in the morning. So that it's impossible. So, and then the only times that I was saying, okay, if I finish the tournament or like semifinals or finals, and I'm winning, and then she's like, now you can go out. I'm like, yeah, but there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
They've all gone home.
Wrong night.
Thank you very much. Really
Yeah,
cool.
Sunday night at the club is dead.
So she was trying to find the balance too.
Right. Yeah, I think as a mom, she wished I could do that and be helpful with it. But on the other hand, there is nothing going on at those times. And then you pack up, you travel. But we had our dinners. We kind of, had a cheers, had a toast. But I mean, later on, I think I made up for those parties at some point when
We all have.
So, like you said, I think it's the way you look at things. And again, like I feel I was really privileged having my family with me and travel and have my team, that I didn't miss being home. And sometimes I did go out and had my free time. And what I kind of missed was more like the horses. I had my horse at home and going then. But even that, I was actually like horse riding in Sydney or in Perth or in Melbourne. I went out, and in California. Every time I went to a place, my first thing was, back in the day, was the yellow pages. I looked for stables. So
that's funny. All right, let's talk Indian Wells for a second, because that's where they're playing the qualifications this week. What you've had great successes there. Like, what stood out for you when you went to Indian Wells? Like, I know back in the day, I don't know how it is exactly now, if it's still a lot slower than Miami was, but did you enjoy playing there? Did you like the environment? Did you like the tournament? You won twice. How did you take on that approach?
I really liked playing both of these tournaments, like Indian Wells and Miami. It was like this really coming from Australia, and actually now, like being in Switzerland for so long, like now the 7-8 years, I never realized that we travel behind the sun all the time. 10 out of the 10 months of the year.
Yeah.
Now is the opposite. It's like 7 months stuck in the cold, So
we definitely don't have the tennis tan lines anymore now.
No. So I was like, wow, this, I never realized that we actually are kind of lucky to be in the sun all the time and travel to beautiful places, Palm Springs, the palm trees. We always went to this Palm Canyon that I, like up hiking on a day off, and when we prepared, and the drive from LA to Palm Springs, or Indian Wells, was always kind of cool to see the different places and environments. And being in the desert, coming from the green scenery in Switzerland and the mountains, and then you end up in the desert where they're able to put these beautiful courts. And especially now, I mean, I even remember the old stadium, which was kind of nice and cozy at the Hyatt, which I loved.
Oh yeah.
And then you have this
I've only practiced there. I never played there.
So now what they were able to put there and build those new courts, and the the infrastructure is amazing. So I'm kind of jealous now. Like I play doubles there still now, but it's really beautiful. And
when was the last time you were there?
I believe, 2017. 17 was still, it was already the way, but at first it was just like some palm trees, the courts, and now everything is much more built around it. So,
do you have a favorite moment or a favorite match that stands out to you from any of your wins there, or?
the wins. I think,
are they all a blur?
Honestly, if you ask me, I don't even know like who I beat in the finals. So I think one year I might have beaten Lindsay Davenport, but it's more the losses that stand out, which is horrible. The ones that I was supposed to win and I didn't. I don't know how it's for you. That if you win and you're there, it's kind of normal because it's like you're always in this kind of go mode. And especially in '97, my first time that I won there, I mean, I had this winning streak, so everything was supposed to be that way. But the ones that I lost, it was stand out almost more because I was up, a set and 4-1 and end up losing, or, so that was more devastating.
I'm like happy to hear it almost, because when I talk to like Andy, or I hear like Andy and Andre Agassi like talk about tennis, they remember like points of like the semifinal third set 4-3. I'm like, wait, what? How is it possible that they know this? Like, literally in like a normal conversation sitting around. And so I'm kind of happy to hear that that maybe it's more like of a female thing, that we don't remember each point or each match as much.
Do you guys remember your record against each other?
I don't.
Well, now Kim is winning. It was the early stages that I was able to beat her when she came on tour, but later I kind of swapped.
Yeah, Kim has the 5-4 head-to-head, but I think Martina, did you get her in the Dallas exhibition? Did we even up the head-to-head in Dallas last year?
Huge win. You were like match point down and was able to turn it around. What a win.
I got like nervous again. I was like, wait, what is happening to my body? Like, this is an exhibition. Why am I feeling nervous? But it's fun. It's like nice. I think when you're on tour, you don't realize like how many fun opportunities there are after, being a professional player that are still, a part of the tennis world, whether it's playing Legends at Wimbledon or doing an event in Dallas. Like there's so many fun things that we can still be a part of. And, I don't know if you're going to be.
Well, yeah, you got me in Dallas and you got me, I got you and you got me in Luxembourg. So it would be 6-5.
Yes. Yeah, true.
Martina, before we move on from talking about Indian Wells, we did want to mention the defending champ, Mira Andreeva, because I know that she called you. I'm sure one of many players who was saying, please coach me. But I'm curious, have you had a long line? Are people calling you regularly? Have you considered maybe at some point coaching on tour?
Not recently. I mean, that was before she teamed up with Conchita, but I think people more or less know that it's impossible right now with Leah. I mean, like I said, you're right, she just turned 7 last year and she's going to school, and for me it's impossible to travel 15-20 weeks a year. So the only thing that would kind of work out if they would come here to visit me in Switzerland a day here or two. But I think somebody that really needs more being as a consultant, but like to travel a year round or even half of it, it's impossible. So, yeah. Did you ever consider coaching? Like, I mean, next to, like, you had Mertens, right, before?
Yeah, because she trained in my academy that I had in Belgium. So it's easier in kind of an environment like that where, she had her coach. And but if I would hit with her sometimes and just be on court and be available to just talk like a mentor, basically. But I've had a few players. I also, the consideration of traveling 20-25 weeks a year is just, it's impossible. And I also think we've done it for so long, and to go through it again, and now that you have a family, just makes it yeah, it's just the priorities shift a little bit. But I do love talking tennis, and I'm sure maybe after if players hear us talk about tennis, you might get a few more calls and want people to come to Switzerland, because I always admired your tennis brain. I mean, I think we have to kind of round it up, right? You're supposed to be on court for a lesson soon.
Yeah, well, I think they shifted it like from 5:30 to 6, so I should be good. No, but we could talk forever like
I
this.
know,
There's so many things I want to know. Like, how much did you implement your like from your like soccer training into your like game, and also like I think that we kind of grew up in a healthy environment with our kind of athletic parents that they always supported us like to do other things, and I think that's the key to success at the end of the day. I mean, you would never be able to put me in a gym like 24/7, like not just to play tennis and not be outside and enjoy yourself. I mean, if you give me a ball, it doesn't matter what it is, like basketball. I mean, now with your
my whole family basically.
Yeah. But everything we did, it was like with a passion, and I think everything you do today, like as long as it has a ball and a racket or ball involved, I mean, I'm willing to run, but if I have to do like 10 sprints in a row, you kill my mind,
I know, yeah. Same. Like long distances is obviously now with my Achilles, I'm dying to if I could jog, that would sound like a lot of fun. But growing up, it was, soccer with my cousins. Like that's what we did. And we played games, like we played, matches, and it was just for fun, like in my parents, my grandparents' backyard. I also feel like in the federation growing up, we did a lot of other sports. We would do hockey, we would do soccer, we would go mountain biking, we would play squash. We did so many other things for fitness. Like that was our endurance training, or just to keep the mind occupied, like to do something different. And which is something that throughout my career, like I always wanted to have that variety. And we found a lot of other things to do, like all around the world, whether it was, whether it was going rowing. If I had to do an endurance training, like we would try to find a place to go rowing, and not just on a rower in the gym, like literally on the water. And just to
that's cool. That's the first time I hear that. It's
just to change things up a little bit, right? Like it's because otherwise it can become so one-sided. Like it's always the same thing. And I definitely needed like a lot of that, like a lot of variety. And I loved all sports. Obviously soccer with my dad was I feel like kind of my first passion that I saw him as a coach, as a soccer player, as a coach. So, and then my mom as a gymnast. So like, that's kind of how I was brought up, and just a large interest for all kinds of sports, and to see it and to learn it and absorb it, I think just helped me also on court to be, have better court awareness, better awareness about my own body when I was moving, and unknowingly, I think you just learn.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to be versatile and to be able to adjust to different situations. Like also like I felt like every time like skiing or horseback riding was far more dangerous than just playing some tennis, because you had to always like be careful about not hitting the slopes. Like it's icy, it's different surfaces, so you had to adjust, and it's foggy or it rains, or when we ran in the mountains, it's like you have not just like a straight treadmill, which just keeps pushing faster and faster. You had the trees, and you could step on, how do you call those?
Roots.
Like from the
the roots.
Yeah. So and twist your ankle and all these things. And actually, like one thing, I didn't say about Indian Wells, that we always brought like some inline skates to Indian Wells and like Australia. So we would just always go out from the hotel and go on the streets in Indian Wells.
You with your mom?
Oh,
so fun.
Yeah. So
now parents are probably like, okay, you have to wear like all the protection. Don't go out on skates. Like you can't risk like getting injured. And that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, no, it's like in Australia, especially, there were all these rivers that you could, from the hotel, like great infrastructure, like on Perth, I believe it was the Swan River. Then you had in Melbourne, You had
the
Yara,
was
River. So we went like half hour one way and half hour back, which was always kind of fun part.
good for the butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blair, you had a question?
Well, I just wanted to mention the fact that only 6 women since the beginning of the WTA rankings have been ranked number 1 in singles and doubles at the same time. And I am currently speaking to 1/3 of them, to 2 of the 6. And I just wanted to point that out because I think that is such an achievement. It is so difficult to do. I don't know that we'll see that again. Do you guys think we will in women's tennis?
Yeah, I mean, like with Aryna, she was number 1 in doubles before she was number 1 in singles. So she definitely had the capability of doing that. On the other hand, doing both at the same time, I think it's probably a little bit harder with, I think occasionally to play doubles possible, like at tournaments and winning maybe both, but I think today they would just like end up in the semifinals and say, hey, I have to focus on my singles semis or finals and win the tournament. So probably not. Yeah, it would be nice to see like more singles playing the doubles, but probably impossible. What do you think, Kim?
Well, listen, we've mentioned this on the doubles court when we were playing Legends. We were like, why did we never play together, like on tour? Like, I feel like we, at a lot of times, like, we match up really well. And I think that's a little bit of a, like I remember like thinking like that, like we read off each other so well. But to go back to your question, sorry, I just wanted to.
No, you could go. Keep going, Kim. Keep going.
But
it was more fun.
Yeah. I think I never thought about it. Like, I love playing doubles. I love playing mixed doubles. Like, it was also fun for me, right? Out of like, whereas the singles, it was, there's a little bit more pressure on it, and you can't really laugh or talk to somebody when you're not playing well. Like it was nice. Like, I played with Ai Sugiyama, and just to be able to have like the support and when things weren't going your way, or if you just lost a singles match, you could still go out there and kind of, end the day on a positive note if you won at least another match in doubles. So I've always loved the combination, but I did notice, at a certain stage, and I think it's the same with like a Sabalenka, and that before they had all the roofs on center court and all those things, like there was a lot of like waiting around, and where I felt like it started to take away a little bit from my chances in singles, quarterfinals, semifinals, where, I could have, been in the hotel room and already been finished with my recovery, and I still had to play a doubles match or something. And that's when I started to kind of over time make the decision to play less doubles. But I always played doubles or added some mixed doubles just because I wanted to, I thought it was also important for my development in my singles to be able to, feel more comfortable at the net and practice a little bit more on my serves or my return game. And, but yeah, it's, I mean, I'm not going to say it's never going to be done. I do think, there will be another player who can do it, but it's intense, and it's a lot.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, because it's like many times I think if I had maybe, 1 or 2 of those Grand Slams, if I had not played the full amount of doubles, like you said, but we were so successful, so
it's
don't
hard to drop it. Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm sorry, to pull out when it helped you up until a certain stage to get some more matches in, to practice serve and volley and play those volleys. And again, like having the court sense and feel the ground and the ball in the beginning of the tournament, it helps you, where at the end of the tournament, it just kind of stands in your way, and you get physically, like I said, it's like intense and it's more draining, and the extra waiting time. Like if I look back at the 97, like my French Open finals, I was dead. I'm like sometimes like thinking, like, why was I, just like after, of course, I had the injury and coming back on clay, but I'm realizing I also play Friday night, like 3-setter doubles semifinals, got to the finals and played the semifinals and played so that kind of, you don't think about that, but looking back, it was like semifinals was like 6-4 in the third. Next day you go on court, instead of having maybe a slower day, you know, you again have to go warm up for the doubles and be focused, play your match. And you're like, okay, day by day, there was like no more energy left, where you don't want to tell your partner, because at that time it was like Arantxa Sanchez Vicaria I played with, and it was like, you know, you helped me up until that moment to have a successful tournament. I would never, you know, be disrespectful and say, hey, I'm sorry, I want to focus on myself. You know, it's like you could not say no, you know. So I think maybe in that time it helped me to get to the finals and have a successful singles tournament. But on the other hand, if I had played a little bit less doubles at the big events, maybe there would be a different outcome. Yeah,
maybe we'll never know.
We'll never know.
One more question, Martina. As a young girl, and I think I was like 14 when it happened. No, a little bit older, 15, 16. Your match against Steffi, when you made that underarm serve, you're like one of the first women to do it, right? Like now it's become like almost like part of the game a lot of times. And how do you, like, forget about like the moment, but what in your head, like that's what I'm so curious about, that you had the guts to do that at that time. I was just like, it was so amazing, like that you were able to do that. And so yeah, what, like in your brain, what can you just, do you remember that moment? Do you have any like, this is a tactical thing, or like, was it more like, F this, I'm gonna whatever, you know, throw you off and like.
Yeah, it was, especially that one was a little bit more out of a hopelessness, you know, but you know, being match point down. But on the other hand, like usually I did it maybe in the last game of the match. Sometimes I did throw that one in and no one realized. And sometimes like there was even times where people pick up the ball and say, hey, you have to. So that's when you say, like, it wasn't common to do it. Like sometimes, like, but like Michael Chang has done it.
He did it on the men's side.
So I was just a little bit after that. So it was out there. And as a girl growing up, I did that sometimes, like in our, you know, like national tournaments or the league matches on the match point. But and then the people pick up the ball. It's like, what are you doing? You like serve normal.
That was a serve, like my point. Yeah. But see, for me, it was even if we would practice, like we would sometimes practice it on the practice courts, and it's hard to hit. Like I don't have the touch, like I didn't have the touch like you did. And even if I would try to like hit the, you know, the underarm serve, like I would miss it a lot. So I would, you know, to say like, this is what I'm falling back on if I feel like my opponent is maybe returning too good, or I'm really just not feeling my second serve at all, was also not. Yeah,
but you had a good serve, so you didn't have to kind of sneak through it. But
luckily, but I just didn't feel like, people make it look like it's an easy shot, but it's not an easy shot to hit.
Yeah, you see where how Nick, for example, Korea, like they practice it sometimes, right?
Like they get or the even like
bubbling. Yeah. It's part of their training. No, I never really trained that. Like sometimes, like because I was hitting quite a few drop shots maybe in my matches, so a little bit I had that forehand slice in there. But probably today I would use it even more than back in the day.
I'm sure. Right? Talk about breaking somebody mentally. There you go. Like that could be part of that tactic. It's been really nice to see you.
It was really fun to see you now and talk to you. And like, yeah, especially when we even played like the legends, like you were running, I was running all over the place. We kind of were on the court, but that was sometimes I felt like we connected and clicked, you know, it's like a brain of a, you know, like the true champion, that you don't need words sometimes. You just know what to do. And that was really cool playing with you.
Thanks. A lot of times we were talking about like non-tennis related things, right? We're just like catching up on life and kids and all that stuff. So nice that we got to do that here again today. So really good to see you. Enjoy Athens. I'm slightly jealous of the gray skies, but anyway, have the best time.
Well, Joy, thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye, Martina. Thank you.
Bye.
What an incredible conversation to start our day, Kim. So much fun talking to Martina. Cannot wait to do it again. But for now, that will do it for us. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials at Love All Podcast. Like and subscribe over on YouTube. And for Kim and our entire team behind the scenes, we will see you next Wednesday with a new episode.
Thanks, guys.